I'm Brandon Gaylor,
And I'm Beverly Gaylor.
and we're so happy to Gaylor. We wanted to tell y'all about our goals for 2020. We're going to start a homestead, and the overall goal, I guess, is so that we can work together in our homestead full time and make a full time living from it, and most of all, work together. And I guess someday raise kids together and everything like that. Um, Ever since we started dating, our main goal, I guess, was to somehow find a way to have a job where we work together, like so we could spend as much time together as possible. At first, we wanted to travel full time, like living out of an RV and stuff like that. We thought about it for probably a year or so, I guess, even after we were married and everything, and just never really found the right way to do it or the right way to make an income doing it. Like we didn't. I don't really want to do computer stuff all the time and stuff like that. But our vacation this past year in October, I started thinking about, or I had the idea of homesteading. Like, what if we could, I guess, grow our own food and maybe animals and stuff like that, and of course, be healthy for us, but go to farmers markets and stuff like that and make a living. And we could do it together, quit our day jobs, and hopefully make a living doing that together. So I thought about it for about a week and seeing if I still wanted to do it or not. Then I told Beverly about it.
That's
What'd you
how
say?
his ideas happen. He thinks about them for a week and then he tells me.
Yep. Sometimes I think about something for a week or a few days and it just kind of goes away. But this one I've thought about pretty much nonstop since October. So what did you think about when I told you about that? Like that new idea?
Well, before, when we talked about the traveling, it just never set good, I guess. There was always worries.
Yeah.
Like families close now, but they wouldn't be when we would travel.
Plus selling our house and everything else too.
Yeah. Oh, I guess to me it was kind of like our first memories.
Yeah.
But I know that eventually we'll have to sell things. Like I know eventually things will go away, but that was a big one to me. But when he started talking about the homestead, I've always liked animals. And honestly, before I even met you, I always liked the idea of having a little farm.
Right.
And that's not something we never talked about when we dated.
Mm-mm.
Like, never. But I've always liked the idea. So when he mentioned the homesteading, I was like, that's something that I could go along with. Because we could eventually work together. And then, like I said, I like animals. I think the animal part of it would be fun. And
we had a garden last year, and it was all her idea of wanting to do it. I didn't want any part of it or anything.
It didn't go very well, but
yeah,
there was a want there. So, and I like the idea of growing our own food. When we go to the grocery market here the past probably 2 months, we've tried to eat and buy all organic things, and it does get expensive. So I'm thinking, I know that starting a garden and things like that will help cut down on grocery bills too, and we'll be eating better foods.
right. Also, the past 3 or 4 months or so, I've started going grocery shopping with her.
Yeah.
The first almost a year of being married together, she always went by herself.
Yeah.
So I started getting to see what kind of food we were eating and what we were buying and spending money on and stuff like that. And we both started wanting to eat healthy, so.
Yeah. Which before, whenever I'd grocery shop by myself, and before we really wanted to eat pretty much all organic. We're not super strict, but we'd like to eventually get to where we only ate organic.
Yeah.
But I would really just focus on what the good deal was at the grocery store. There were some things I'd always buy organic just because I knew it was better for you, but not our whole meals, like not all of our groceries. But now we've cut back pretty good to where we might not buy as much, but what we do buy is organic, and we read the labels on a lot of things.
Right.
So
try buy the least ingredients in it.
Yeah.
So between trying to eat healthy and live healthy, and a way to make an income together, we feel like homesteading is probably the best option for us. in the past, before even meeting her, I've thought about it before, but mainly just for a prepping aspect. Like having your own, living off the land, having your own stuff, and not having to depend on a grid and stuff and all that, which we probably won't go that crazy with it, but that was the only thought I had of homesteading. I never put making money, I never thought about how to make money doing it. But I guess we went to farmers markets in Knoxville
Yeah.
a couple times, just happened on them in downtown Knoxville.
Yeah, we were there for another event, but we're gonna kill some time.
Yeah.
We got there early, so we wanted to walk around, and there were so many tents set up with so many different things, and we were like, "Whoa, that's cool! I've never seen that vegetable before."
Yeah.
It was really cool.
And I never really knew that was a thing. Like, I didn't know there was that much people into farmers markets and stuff like that. I didn't know it was really happening around us. So I guess that kind of showed there's ways to make money doing farming or homesteading, growing your own food or meat or whatever. Or
Yeah.
maybe even making crafty stuff or baking things.
Yeah.
Which she'd really like to do.
Yeah, I love to bake. I'm not a pro at it, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. We're not going to be a pro at any of this stuff. We're just going to start out, and you'll see us from day one, the beginning, to however long it takes us to go full time at it.
Yeah. And even before going full time, our main goal, I think, is to eat better. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's, like this year, our garden, it's not really going to be as much as we probably need to set up at a farmer's market.
Right.
It's really, and we just bought things that we would eat.
Yeah.
And things that we think we might try or something like that.
Yeah, this first year is going to be trial and error and see what all we need to do to set up at farmers markets and hopefully make it into a business. So we'll be doing lots of learning and continually doing lots of research. And we're actually going to 2 Mother Earth News fairs this year. We're going to go to the one in Nashville and the one at Polyface Farm in Virginia in July. So that'll be really cool, and we should learn a lot from all that. So that's all of our thoughts and kind of plans for this year. Let us show y'all around our property and what we have to work with. So this is our house and all of our land this way. We have 3 acres. The first, I guess the house part is about 1 acre. Then our field and that area over there is about 2 acres. Our house, it was built in 2001. We bought it 2018, is that right? Like June of 2018, right before we got married in October of 18. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. It is 1,157 square feet, so it's not real big or anything. It's just a small, basic house. Good starter house for us, and lots of land. We got 4 cars, which we'd like to get down to probably 2. So that's going to be one of the things we're doing this year, is selling some stuff. In the front of the house, we want to make a flower and herb garden. We plan on doing it like the back Eden way with the wood chips and stuff like that too. We're going to take this bush out, and we want to, from in the house here all the way to about right here probably. We plan on having all that garden, and just coming to a straight line all the way to the driveway, right down the walkway here, and just having all this garden area. There's rocks here too, she can put her garden stuff in, and all this will be the wood chips and compost and the back to Eden style gardening. We'll leave the rocks there probably. This is our backyard behind the house. We actually have a creek right here. We can go down to it. We've got a creek here right behind our property. It goes all the way from like our house all the way to the other end, at the end of our field. It's called Horse Pen Branch Creek. It's just, when it rains it gets more, and last year when there was a big drought in the summer, it was down to almost nothing, but it never did actually go down to totally dry. So we're hoping it keeps water in it majority of the year. Right here we've got a fire pit we made last year. Behind that we've got a pretty bad storage building. It's all rotten and kind of falling down. hopefully this year we can tear it down and use some of the wood off of it and build a better new one. And then we've got a fence here. I've been trying to clear some of the brush around it because there's a chicken coop back there. We plan on putting our chickens in that coop for now. I'll build a fence on this right side here and connect this fence to there and have a run for our chickens. Here we have a barn or shed or something like that. We just call it a barn. But it's got 3 stalls in it. 2 stalls look like they used to be for animals, whoever was here before. And the last stall has like a workbench and a vise in it. So whoever was here before us, they probably had horses and they definitely had chickens. But I'm guessing they tried to do a homestead type deal too. So because we've got kind of a good little start for us for a homestead. And when we bought this place, we were never even thinking about that. So it's kind of cool how we looked up on it. We can definitely use these things for us starting out. Right here, this was Beverly's garden last year that we kind of tried but didn't really do a whole lot with. But we're going to make this part of the garden and on up to here our garden this year. So it's going to be probably a little more than twice the size of last year. And here we've got the wood chip piles we've been working on. And to the right over here is where the last people's garden was. They used to have this part as their garden, is what the neighbor told us. There's a fence here, barbed wire fence. I'd like to tear it down someday. We've got a trash pile here that's got like a mattress and just junk that they left in the field for some reason. We need to burn it and get rid of it. This land here, this stays kind of swampy. All this is usually full of water. So I'm going to try to probably build a ditch down to the creek, which is back there at the edge of our property. Probably build a ditch, probably ditch some of this out into there and build a ditch from the swampy area into the creek. So we can hopefully drain it out and actually use that land for something and keep it mowed. All this land up here, I guess we could use it for maybe pasture if we had some kind of animal someday, or maybe more gardens. But on the end of our property down there, there's a culvert that drains from the road, and it drains all that water down the side of our property. So I'll probably need to ditch it out also, drain it to the creek. Or we can probably maybe even pull the water up or somehow catch it and use it for watering animals or our crops. But that's our field area is about 2 acres, and that's about what we plan to do with it, I guess. I could see maybe getting a greenhouse someday, building it somewhere. And for the house, I could see building a wash station for all of our produce and a rainwater catchment system. That's something I've always wanted. So that's our homestead plans for this year and how we're going to get started and while we're starting it really. And that's our layout of our property and what we have to work with. Come along with us and check out how we plan on making our new dream happen. Thanks for watching.